All right, let's talk. A lot of talk down here, and we know that the Mets have been the phone's been ringing off the hook for Parnell. We heard the Red Sox as one of the ones on the other end of the extension. A lot of talk and I didn't check this out, Peter, to find out if it was valid or not, but there's been a lot of talk that the Mets asked for Jackie Bradley Jr. and were rebuffed. How much do the Red Sox want a closer?
They're more interested in getting the depth. I mean, they really got hurt this weekend because Andrew Miller's been by far their best reliever, and he's out for the year now. So they seem to feel that eventually, I mean, it's starting to come back. The Bailey is back to 94, 95. He can close. They're going to bring a couple of starters up out of the minor leagues and basically do what the Cardinals did. They have a kid named Workman from Texas, left-handed pitcher named Drake Britton, a left-hander who throws about 96, 97. They'll bring them up and use them. They would love Parnell, but Jackie Bradley, I mean, who's going to play center field next year? I mean, that's the way they love Jackie Bradley, and Ellsbury's going to be gone without question. So they can't afford to trade Bradley. And frankly, they've done a good job. All of a sudden, they have a lot of young players coming, and I think because Ben Cherington and Mike Hazen, who run them, are both development guys and were a huge part of the development of these players, they're going to be very reticent to trade any of them. I mean, I was told, okay, we would trade. I asked about Bogarts, the shortstop, who I think Baseball America has third or fourth in the top prospects in baseball. I was told the only guy they traded for is Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, that's so. They'll make a couple of deals for relievers, but I'm not sure they're going to be glamorous deals. But they love Parnell because he's young and he throws so hard, and they can use him either at the end or in the middle.
Yeah, Parnell's done well, and that's who the Mets, if the Mets are going to open shop, I'll tell you something, there's going to be a team in a pennant race that's going to be looking to take Hefner off the Mets' hands, that's for sure, because he has really found himself, and I don't know if it's one that's going to last or not, but, it's lasted now for about 6 starts. He has really been unbelievable. Had the best ERA in baseball over his last 7 starts, 1.6, so he's done a good job, and I'm sure they're getting a lot of calls about Hefner, too.
Absolutely. I mean, people keep Mets fans, who are friends of mine, say, well, they got to trade Syndergaard or Wheeler. That's not going to get a Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, and, I keep saying the Mets have won twice, 69 and 86. They won because of power pitching. And they're building that kind of staff up in a division which is, over the next couple of years, going to be absolutely dominated by power pitching. Those Florida arms are incredible, and the Braves always have really good pitching. And Washington's a power staff, so it's an interesting division, and they can compete. They can find, they can Hefner. They can make 1 or 2 other deals. If Nice comes back and is healthy, I think he has a very high value on the open market. So, they can do some things with their pitching. Frankly, I'd be very careful about trading away Parnell too. I mean, we all love.
So I think they would for the right price if they could get, and they desperately need outfield help, and they know that going forward. If they could move some. A surplus of starting pitching, we all know that, and they have a very good lefty reliever in the minors who they think is going to be a big pitcher too. So they feel that their pitching really isn't. It's not smoke and mirrors. I mean, it really is. They do have a lot of prospects as far as pitching goes. So they are looking for an outfielder who could really help them, rather than go out and spend a fortune next year trying to buy a couple outfielders, because they desperately need help in the outfield.
Oh, absolutely. That Leatherstich kid, the left-hander.
Yeah, they really like him a lot. Yeah, they do.
So that's, I understand the problem of finding the outfielders, but you know what? You can patch together. You look at what the Red Sox did with a bunch of $8 to $10 million guys. You can get some representative players. I mean, if Duda hits and plays first base next year, and you got Wright, they could have above average offense at first, third, and catcher. And then you find 1 or 2 outfielders, but don't trade away the strength you have. Because I mean, I had a great discussion with a whole bunch of the Padres people, from Bud Black to Mark Kotsay and Brad Austin, a bunch of guys talking about that Miami pitching, and they were going. I mean, the debate started with Harvey, Strasburg, or Fernandez, which is a great. It's the kind of fun thing.
Absolutely,
debate.
That Fernandez is underrated. He doesn't get talked about enough. He really is very, very good.
And Bud Black said Eovaldi never won under 96 when he started again. I mean, they've got a lot of young. I like Henderson Alvarez a lot, so they could be really good in terms of pitching. I mean, hopefully they won't sell off their position players, but the division can be one of power, and I think that translates over to Philadelphia, in that the four other pitching staffs in the division can be so good. If Ruben Amaro kind of goes halfway on a rebuilding, they can end up last for a couple of years. And I don't think you can do that in Philadelphia. So I think that's going to make them, because they've seen what Florida with Miami's come up with in the last couple of months. I think they're going to be really afraid of trading Cliff Lee or any of the other decent veteran pitchers. I don't think they're going to be able to trade Papelbon. So that's I just don't see them getting enough to make it worth it. You might as well come back and have, hope Halliday comes back to some degree, and you've got Biddle come up out of Double-A, and then you have Hamels and Lee, and you can compete.